What's up, y'all? Pastor Dave Wright and Lady G here again for another episode of Wedded Wednesdays. Yeah. And this episode today, we're going to be talking about, should a wife know how to cook? And we just here to help. You know, we ain't no geniuses, but we just trying to help those that are out there in your relationships. And today's topic might be a little touchy for some, but should a wife be able to cook?
You asked for it?
You got it. Wedded Wednesdays.
Wedded Wednesdays.
I'm going to let my wife, I'm going to start on that because
I think you should.
A husband, the Bible says, a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. So when I was searching for a wife, when I was looking for my relationship partner, there are some qualities that I wanted in a wife. And one of them that was at the high echelon of my list was I want a woman that can cook. Because I refuse to be single and eat McDonald's every night and then get married and eat McDonald's and Wendy's every night. The devil is a liar. No. I wanted a wife that can cook. So my wife is an awesome cook. She cooked for me before we got married, and I made sure it was right and it was good. You know, I said, all right, she can cook. I'm gonna marry her. It was other stuff, of course, but part of her becoming my wife, part of me choosing her was some of the qualities that she had, and one of the main qualities for me was that she could cook. And I don't know, some men out there are upset because their wives don't cook, but she probably wasn't cooking when you met her. You can't meet somebody and then hope they learn how to cook. No, that's why that wife, listen to me, ladies, you ought to be a wife before you even get married. There's some things you ought to know before you get married. You should know how to cook. How you been surviving all this time?
But you can't say that you should know how to cook, because
learn how to cook.
Some women just were not taught. They weren't trained up to know how to cook. So in some cases, I have to give them a little pass for that, because if you were never taught,
my pass. Listen to me.
What is wrong with you?
There is a 5-year-old little girl at my church. Her name is Ava. And she can make pancakes and eggs at 5.
And shrimp and chicken and all of that.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's even worse.
But this is
you got no business to be no grown woman. You can't make pancakes.
Listen to me. Her mom takes out the time to teach her. She's being trained. Her mom is teaching her at that young, tender age. That's what I'm saying. Some women don't know how to cook because they weren't trained, or they didn't have anyone to teach them and give them the basics, in the kitchen.
Okay, let's go with that.
Yes, no, it's the truth. We don't have to go with anything. It is the truth.
So what do you do when you weren't taught and trained how to cook all these years?
What do who do? Me?
What do a person do that hasn't been trained?
Well, if you want to know how to cook, you never got the basics in the kitchen from grandma or your mom or whomever, and now you're this grown adult and you're married now and you don't know how to cook. Now is the time to reach out and say, you know what, my aunt, she's a great cook. I'm going to reach out to my aunt, let her come on over here, teaching me how to create a few, basic meals that I could prepare for my husband during the week.
And, my wife was just saying how sometimes young ladies aren't trained on how to cook and how to prepare a meal at a young age. And we got a little 5-year-old that's learning it. But when you're not prepared for that, you have to seek help. You have to seek, like she just said, my auntie can cook. Let me go get some nuggets from her. Let me wean from her. But I think don't wait till you get married to say, oh, let me try to figure out this thing. you ought to try to
Yeah.
figure that out beforehand.
Yeah.
You ought to try to figure that out. As you know, what age did you start cooking?
At the age of 9.
What age did you start wanting to learn how to cook?
Sure. At probably the age of 5.
You see, that's the stuff I'm talking about. And it's just a woman should want to be able to cook. Now there are men, I got men in my church that are chefs. I have a deacon that's a gourmet chef. There are men that cook, and some of the greatest chefs in the world are men. But a wife should know how to cook. A wife should know how to cook, because for some, that's a deal breaker. For others, that's not a big deal. But for some, that is a deal breaker.
Why do you feel it's a deal breaker?
Because I've heard them say it. Because, and then also from my experience, if my wife, I don't want to sound rough by saying this, but you wouldn't be my wife if you couldn't cook.
That is a little harsh.
No, it ain't harsh. Because I wouldn't be your husband if I didn't have legs. Hello? If I didn't have legs.
What does one have to do with
Part
the other?
of requirement. Don't you require a husband to have legs?
Yes, but
That's your requirement.
To you.
So
that's
me not
real.
having legs is a deal breaker.
No, come on. That's
So it's for some
one doesn't have
women.
anything to do with
For
it.
some men, they want a wife that can cook. They ain't got to be no gourmet chef. You know, my mom wasn't making shrimp a la carte and all this stuff, but she made enough food for us, me and my 5 brothers, to eat. You can't live off of fast food all
No,
day.
you can't.
You can't live off of eating potato chips and stuff all day long. So a home cooked meal that means something. That's and your love is in your cooking.
Yes, but to that woman that does not know how to cook or wasn't trained up to.
Then she need a husband that don't need a woman that knows how to cook.
But if he knew she did not know how to cook,
Shame on him.
and he still married her knowing that he had what?
A woman that didn't know how to cook.
Okay. Knowing that, he knew this while they were courting. He knew all of this, so why decide to marry
Hey.
and make the step to marry her if you know what the situation is from the beginning?
And this is what I say when I'm a great spades player. You can't change the rules in the middle of the game.
No, you can't.
Set the rules in the front. So set whatever you want it to be in the front. And if your wife can't, if your girlfriend at the time can't cook and all these different things, and that's your requirement, then why marry her and then try to force her into something that she's just not
Well,
able
it's got to
to
be
do?
something that she's willing to work on. If she's willing to learn, although she knew that, at the time her fiance had this, he had this thing to where, okay, I really need you to, I really want someone that knows how to cook. He has a requirement of wanting his wife to be able to, know how to cook. So
And
if
well,
she-
maybe he can cook.
if she communicated with him and said, okay, that's not a problem. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I wanted to learn how to cook. I just didn't have anyone around,
To practice on?
to help me.
And that's another thing. Don't be practicing.
Well, listen, I had to practice. When I was at a young age, I made a lot of mistakes in the kitchen, but I kept doing it. I didn't say, you know what, this is not for me. This is not gonna work, so I'm gonna throw up my hands. No, and I made many, many mistakes in the kitchen before I got it right.
I'm glad you got the mistakes out the way.
But someone that, for a woman that doesn't know how to cook, she's going to make mistakes. She's going to, until she can get it right, she's going to make mistakes. Sometimes the seasoning ain't going to be where it needs to be.
Don't try to kill that man.
But
no.
guess what? Okay, now you taste it. The next time I'll add a little bit more of this and I'll add a little bit more of that, and you'll see where it goes from there. Only way you're going to learn, you're going to make mistakes in the kitchen. So for that woman, she has to have a mind and a willing soul to be able to.
So do
ahead and
you
say
think a
no.
woman should be, a wife should be able to cook?
Absolutely. I think a wife should know how to cook. But however, some women get with men that are chefs. Some women get with, they marry someone that knows how to cook. So it's the demand isn't so high. So it's kind of
In the
touchy.
words of someone, everybody's different.
Yeah, it's kind of different because first of all, some men don't put that requirement. Well, that's just not a requirement of theirs.
Yeah.
It's not.
It was a mountain.
But
It was for me.
some men do have the requirement and say, you know what, this is just what I want. And, I want a wife that knows how to cook because I have in my mind that, look, eventually we're going to start a family. My kids can't eat out every day. I need for my wife to know how to cook.
Right.
No, I don't know how to cook, but I'll do my best. This is the husband. No, I don't know, everything, but I can do enough to survive. But as for my partner, I would like for my woman and my wife to know how to cook. Because me and our kids, they can't eat McDonald's and they can't
Not
eat
every day.
They can't eat that every day.
You can
So
kill yourself.
she should want to learn. At that point, if you started a family, you should want to learn how to just start from the basics. You know what I'm saying? A starch, a veggie. And
No,
start
you're
from
going
the
too
basics.
far.
No, start.
Toast. Start with toast. Get some
But
bread,
not
put in
with-
the toast. Some folk can't make toast. They can't make
No,
rice.
But you can learn if you're willing. You can learn. You can do. I'm telling you, you can learn how to cook.
Yeah, you can learn, but start with some toast and butter.
It's really not that difficult, and
Some cinnamon on
until
it.
you get the wing of it. Listen, we're living in a day and time now where our markets hold so many different things. Like, okay, I don't know how to make rice, but my local market has rice already prepared, so I don't know how to make that, or I can't make mashed potatoes. My local market has that, so I'm gonna grab that. I'm getting the wing of knowing how to bake chicken. So I'm gonna pick up a pack of chicken and a can of string beans or whatever the case may be.
Clean the chicken.
Make it easy. It's baby steps, but there's no excuse to why you can't bring a small meal together for your family.
There you go.
We have too much help out here today.
With
than we had back in
YouTube
the
and all
day.
that stuff on
Yes,
YouTube.
YouTube is available.
Look on
YouTube is
YouTube.
amazing. It's no excuse. I mean, even if you don't have a mom or a grandmother living, or you don't have any aunts that live nearby you or whatever, listen. YouTube got all the aunts, the uncles,
let me tell you
the
something.
cousins, the
What I
aunties
did.
are cooking up on YouTube.
Your battery went dead on your Range Rover. And I didn't know. I ain't never changed the battery on a Range Rover all my life. I had an old Honda Accord. I could do that stuff. So I don't want my wife out there trying to fix her battery. I'm trying to save money from going to the mechanic so he could do it. I went on YouTube and it showed me how to change the battery. Went to Pep Boys, got a battery for $98.97 and changed the battery myself. I told her I went to the place. I did it out there in the garage. Don't you worry
Now
about it.
I'm gonna have to go to the Rover.
Let me finish the story. But the point of the story is I went on YouTube as a man and learned how to change a battery in a Range Rover. And you can't go on YouTube and learn how to make some spaghetti, some toast, pancake. YouTube will show you. YouTube will get you right. And ain't nothing wrong with that truck. It's fine.
So, to the defense of all the ladies out there, why YouTube ain't showed you nothing?
How to cook?
Yeah, sometimes I'm not feeling well, and the home still needs to function. Why don't you go in the kitchen and put something together? Why YouTube ain't taught you nothing?
I don't need YouTube to cook.
I got y'all, ladies.
No, don't worry. Listen, I can make
You
spaghetti.
tried it.
I can make spaghetti without going on YouTube. I make one of the best spaghettis in the world.
To you?
No, to anybody that has tasted it.
Who's tasted it?
My kids love it.
They tell you anything.
No, they don't tell me anything.
Please.
I make some of the best spaghetti because my mother and my brother Danny showed me how to make spaghetti.
Okay.
And Y'all don't like sugar in the spaghetti, but my mother showed me how to put some sugar in the spaghetti so you can take some of the antioxidants out of it.
Okay. The antioxidants.
Whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about.
No, it tastes
Ain't that
the
right,
edge.
y'all?
No, that's not the truth.
Antioxidants.
No, and antioxidants ain't got nothing. Listen to what you're saying. You use a pinch of sugar, not a cup of sugar, first of all. And the only reason you add a pinch of sugar to your sauce is just cuts the edge off the tomatoes and the acidity that's in the sauce.
The acidity.
No, okay. No, let's not
That
do
ain't
that.
even a word.
Acidity is a word.
Acidity ain't no word.
Okay.
That's a city in Chicago.
Fam, y'all help them out. Let them know that acidity is a word.
So that's what I make spaghetti. I got a couple things I make. I make spaghetti. I make ribs.
He makes Lloyd's ribs from BJ's that are already prepared. Hello.
The devil is a liar.
Yes, he does.
They're not already prepared because when you get it from BJ's, you just can't eat it frozen. You got to put it in the oven. So that's not already prepared.
Oh, Douglas.
So I make hot dogs. I make hamburgers. I make tuna fish. I make eggs. I make egg and cheese omelets. Egg and cheese omelets. I made that.
When?
You don't worry about it because you don't eat my food no how.
Oh Lord,
I'm not.
mercy. Okay, if you cooking like that, then we.
I make hot dogs, French fries. I make a whole bunch of things.
Okay.
I make
right.
ham and cheese a la carte.
Okay. The topic was, should a wife know how to cook?
Yeah.
And my answer to that is, you should definitely educate yourself and try to take it one day at a time with knowing. Don't you roll your eyes at me, Doc. Don't be a peasant all of your life.
This has been another episode of Wedding Wednesdays.
Y'all asked for it, y'all got it. So I would just say yes, just educate yourself and find some help. There's a lot of outlets that we have out here that can help train you into knowing how to cook. So grab hold of the outlets, head over to YouTube, wherever you need, look at the Food Network. They also help. So
you making something tonight, ain't you?
I'm making a whole spread.
There you go. Join us for Wedding Wednesdays. God bless you. Peace.
Love y'all.